Well, hello everyone. So tonight, it is nighttime. You can't see outside, but it's dark out there. I thought I'd do something a little different. I did a fishing video, and I did that one since we stocked the bass, crappie, walleye, and stripers. And so I know a lot of people have been asking, what size fish we have in there, et cetera. I'm sure you've seen the video by now because this one's going to come out after that video. So, but what I'm doing tonight is something I love to do. This is kind of fun, and I don't know how many have done this or tried this or thought about doing this, but I fish a lot of spinner baits, and I love top waters. The top water buzz baits, like this. I love fishing those. I love fishing. It used to be an old tornado. I used to call it tornado. And I still fish these, and then I'll just the spinners themselves. So I have a whole array of spinners. I got some. Let me show you here. I got some boxes of spinners here. That I in fact, there's some top water in there. Sometimes they get in the wrong box. I'll take that one out in fact. So I got different blades in there. There's Colorado blades. There's willow leaf. There's the pounded or hammered, I should say. There's a hammer style willow leaf and some hammer styled Colorado blades, etc. I've had some of these lures for probably 30 years. So, and if you're like me, some of these lures, start getting tired looking, and you're like, okay, or the rubber bands break on them. So there's one, for instance, I got one tonight. In fact, my wife was using a topwater tonight trying to fish with it, and you can see the rubber band's coming off there. So, this rubber band's getting tired and stuff. And so it's time to think about, well, do we want to put the same color on? Do we want to try something different, spice it up a little bit? Look at your lures, what you have in colors. Do I have a lot of black and white already, or white, or, all black, whatever. And maybe I need something different. Look at the head, I got a little bit of red and silver there. So, try to think of something different. But it's a good way to save money, a lot of money, in fact. One of these lures can cost you, $7, $8, $9, and up, and some are less. It depends on what brand you buy, etc. But like this one here, I guarantee you, this has got what, 4 blades on it. Love fishing these, and this rubber band is getting tired here. There's another one. You can see it's all droopy here. Hopefully you can see it. I can try to pull it around, but look at the rubber band; it's just stretched out. And I love this lure, but the skirt is finished on this, and you can probably try to use this skirt again the way I'm going to do these things, but to me, I'll just put a new one on. It's a lot easier. But so when I'm talking about putting new skirts on, so I was talking about saving money. So you can save a lot of money. So there's a company out there I buy these from. It's called Jan's Netcraft, and they sell all different colors of skirts, different materials, different colors. Let me show you an array of colors here. Let me get this camera up here for a second. So let me show you some of these skirt colors. So, I got the purples and blacks and blues. I need to buy some more blues. And I got whites over here, and then, of course, you can see all these lures I'm looking at. And some of them are good. I'm going to show you some of these lures I've done already. And then you got your pumpkins and browns and silvers. And then over here, you just got some more pumpkins and stuff. These are more greens over here. This batch over here, these are more greens, etc. These are more your pumpkin, and then you got some reds and other stuff in there, and then your chartreuse, a lot of chartreuse, a little bit of green, different greens in there. And I don't have nearly what the colors they have out there. I mean, I bought a few, of the colors I liked and stuff, and to give you what they look like, there's a little strip here. That's one strip. And so you get, I think it's 20 some strips to a pack, which goes a long way. I think it takes 2 strips, and in fact, you can look at here. I think I cut this strip, so you can cut these strips in half. So yeah, there's a full strip. So there's a full strip there, and then I cut these in half. Sometimes I'll cut a half a strip. I'll cut them in half and use half of that in a color. And so they go a long way. You get 20 in a pack for $2 and something to $3 or whatever a pack. And then I just put them in these plastic trays. I've had these for probably 10 years or so. But like I say, you can add to your colors too, what you want. I got a whole array of whites over there. So what I like to do is, like I say, I like to look at a lure like this, and I was like, okay, that lure is shot. If I went out and bought that lure, like I said, it was probably, back when I bought it was probably $5 or $6. But why go out and buy another, top water? And then also I like to look at my colors on my top color. Then I look at some that I've done or I've tried, you know, and I really don't like how I did them. Like I don't like how I did this one, so I'm going to redo this one here. And then if I see one that's tired looking, like I say, this one here, that 4 blade, I love this one, but that rubber band shot, so that'll get replaced. And then, you know, I'll look around and see my colors and stuff. Here's for an example, I found 2 of these. One's got a red blade and one's got red blade, one's got a black blade, but they're both the same color. So it's kind of silly to have 2 of the lures the same color. I think I got another one like that too. Yeah, here's one here. So again, it might have been my son's or something, but here's another one. I got 2 of these, so both of them are identical. So it's like, okay, why not change the skirt on them and make them different, you know? So I'll do that. So let me show you what you got here, how you do this. So let me move the camera around. Yeah, or also, have you ever noticed, maybe you've gone into a fishing store, you know, whether it's a Bass Pro or Cabela's or one of your favorite fishing stores, and you're looking for that perfect lure color, you know, that you really want to see. And you see so much chartreuse and so much white. And there's times I go in there and it's like, golly, I just, you know, want something a little different, you know, that pops out there. So this is your chance to make something that pops. You know, something you think the fish might like, a different color they haven't seen, you know, whether it's a bubble gum, you know, I know there's bubble gum worms and stuff, you know, but, you know, try to come up with something that's really a cool color, you know, and you never know, it might be a hot bait, but it's something you can't find in the store, because the stores usually stick to the common colors, you know, whether it's white, chartreuse, black, blues, you know, etc. So, and yeah, I know there's probably, you know, there's been studies done on fish like certain colors and stuff, you know, but you just never know. So it's just a good way to go in there, and it might be a situation where you love your favorite lure or a certain color, and whether it's a chartreuse or whatever, and it's got certain spinners on there, and you know, different blades, I should say, on there, whether it's a willow leaf or a turtleback or a Colorado blade or, you know, something like that. You know, I don't know if we got any turtlebacks here or not on my, yeah, here's a turtleback here. So here's a turtleback, you know, if some of you don't know what a turtleback looks like, and that's what it is. This is a 4.5 turtleback blade on there, and then it's got a little Colorado, just a smooth Colorado on there. But these things really cause a lot of vibrations and stuff. Now this is a Terminator, so you know, you can change these skirts out. So, you know, I got a whole box of different, you know, probably every color Terminator made, you know, back when they, you know, first came out with these. So, you know, it's an easy way to swap out the skirts and stuff, you know, where you can't do that on the ones that you make with the rubber band. I mean, I guess you can pull them off, you know, but it's a little bit more troublesome than a Terminator. So, you know, but there's no reason you can't pull these off and keep these skirts, you know. I mean, I can pull any of these skirts off of here, you know, and as long as the rubber band's good, and throw it aside and put a different skirt on it. So, you know, it's very possible. So you can make your own skirts up, but, you know, just keep them in a box, you know. I mean, I got a skirt here, here's one here, so you can keep them in a box like this. You know, so I could take that skirt there, you know, make some up like that, and if I had a chartreuse and white that, you know, the skirt came off, it was one of my favorite baits, you know, I just popped this one back on. So you can carry those in your tackle box also. So anyway, I just want to add that, you know, like I say, it's just another way, if you can't find a certain spinner bait or a jig or whatever, you know, like I said, I've done my jigs this way too. So it's just a good way to update the colors and, you know, just bring some life back into your lures. A little bit, I call it spinnerbait magic. I hope you can see me here. So in this box here, I keep this little instrument here, and you can make one of these yourself out of a ballpoint pen, and then just a piece of like a paper clip. So if you look at this, so this apparatus here looks like a little paper clip. It's got a hook on it. This is how you pull your skirts. So, or you put them on the rubber band. So what you got here, and Jan's Net Crafts has a video out there also, but what you got there, you got a tube here, and this tube is hollow, and so you stick this wire down through here, and it's got like a bullet tip on here, and so that bullet tip is to put rubber bands on. So in my case, I have, you know, 4 different colors of rubber bands. I got some white ones, I got some yellow ones, don't know if you can see that or not. I got some just the rubber band color ones, I don't know what I call them, they're just rubber band color, and then the black ones. So a lot of times you look at your lures and see what color rubber bands they have or what color you would like to use. There's no, you know, there's no right or wrong about it really. But, you know, just use the color you think is appropriate. So in my case here, and then something else I'm going to try tonight too, which I'm going to do, I'm not going to try, I'm going to do. So if you got jigs, like this jig here, This is a crappie, I think it's crappie, I can't think of the name of it. It's a crappie jig. I don't know if it's crappie killer or something like that. Crappie kicker, it might be crappie kicker. But they put these little little strands on there. Well, I got some here. Here's one here where the rubber band's broke and the strands are gone. So I'm going to redo this one. I put a little bit of strands on there, you know, to help spice that lure back up again because it's getting tired looking. So the way it works here is you take, let me find one here we'll do. So let's say, let me show you some of the ones before I get going here. Let me show you some of the ones I've done, which I think are pretty cool. So here's a green I did. And I did this one probably last year or something. So this is a tornado. Love the color of the green. Kind of a chartreuse green with a little bit of black mixed in with it. And that, you know, that one probably the rubber band broke on it, and so I just put a different one. Let me find another one here I did that's pretty cool looking. Here's one, here's a pumpkin. So you got that pumpkin up there, you know, so I put a kind of a pumpkin color on it. Awesome lure, you know, especially in the fall and stuff and in the spring. Especially when the fish are hitting topwater. You never done fish a tornado, they fish just like a topwater. You can fish them either underwater, depending how you tie it, you can fish them underwater or you can fish them topwater. And so I like the versatility of these lures here. And here's a cool one let me see, that's not the one I did. Here's one I did, little green. So I had a green head on it, and so I took a little bit of green chartreuse and then a little bit of, I don't know if you call that candy cane or what you call it, but pretty cool looking lure. Here's one here I did. This is another neat color. So this had a green and green, so I used this is more like your sunfish color or you know, bluegill color. That's a very popular lure, good lure color. So I made that one again. That was probably, who knows what that was when I first had it, but here's the ones I used. So just to show you that I did make it. There's a strip on it, and so I made that, like I say, last year. So it's pretty good color too. So like I say, it's definitely a good way to save money. I mean, you cannot find a better way to save money. So in this fact here, looks like I put a rubber band color on this one here. Here's another one I did. I'm not sure I like this or not. I will see. It's on a chartreuse head, but it's got a black and then a black and gold kind of a speckled color on there. So, you know, I'm not sure I'm fond of that one or not. But if I find out I don't like it after a while and I'm not getting any bites on it, I'll change the color out. So let's go back to this one here. So I'll show you what we do here. So let's go back to this one here. This is a top water. Like I said, it's got a little red and silver. This one had a black and silver. So let's think about what we want to do here. So right offhand, I think I'll put go ahead and put a black rubber band on this one. So let me show you get these rubber bands. So you take these little rubber bands, and they're just little tiny circles here. You probably, I don't know if you can see those or not. That camera can adjust into there. So what you do basically is you take this rubber band here and you put it on that pointed tip there, like that pointed bullet, and you roll that rubber band on here, push it down in there like so. Not sure you can see that or not, but let me get a little closer there. So there's a rubber band on there now. So what we're going to do is we're going to find some colors here. So let me think about what color I want here. That's, like I say, that's a red and silver. That had a black and silver on there. Let's see what I want to do here for a second. So what I think I'm going to do here, looking at that, I think I'm going to go red and silver. So they recommend, and you can do more or less, it just depends on what you want, how full you want the skirt to be. I've done 2.5 a lot of times. I'm going to do just 2 on this one here. So I'm taking black and silver, and so what you do is you got this little hook down here, and these things have they're connected right now. These skirts are connected with a little tab on them, and so they've been cut into strips. So I imagine when a machine makes these things, they cut them into strips. And there's my wife walking in on my video.
Looks like a kid in a candy store.
So these are silicone skirts, what I was saying before. So I want to use a red and silver here. So you take that little paper clip, a jiggy there, what is it called? A doomahiggy jiggy biggy.
Stuff will be ready in about 5 minutes.
Dinner's ready in 5 minutes. So you take this little paper clip thing with a hook on it, and you take it and you hook these tabs like so, right below the tabs, and so it hangs there like that. So this is the way you put it on there. So you got to take it off, you slip it through your tube like so, hook it on your tab like I just showed you, like that. I don't know if you can see that or not. So I got it hooked on my wire there. So we're going to pull it through the little tube. Like I say, you can use an ink pen tube. I've seen people use ink pen tubes, you know, and a paper clip, you know, and the end of an ink pen, you know, you separate it, whatever, and the one end, you know, where it's a little pointed at, you roll the rubber band on, take a paper clip and pull the same thing up. So you can make these at home. You know, you don't really need device and all that, but it's nice to have. So then you pull it through, and then, you know, about halfway through, whatever, depends on how much you want to roll back and stuff. I like to see quite a bit roll back, so you know, I'm going to pull it halfway through. And then you take the rubber band and you just roll it back like so. So there you go. So unhook it like so. And then you go ahead and trim the edges off. Let me go ahead and do that. All right, so you go ahead and trim those tabs off of there. So I'm going to cut these off. Try to get as close as you can so you don't waste a whole lot of it. I'll show you after I'm done here. Trim both ends. Like so. So now, there we go. All ready to be put on a lure. So let me put it on a lure. Find my lure right here. Take off the old tired out looking black and silver. Like that. Toss that away in the garbage. Take my red and silver. Now, you can do some cool things with these. Let me show you here. I'll show you in a little bit. Let me put this one on. So find the center. I just like to curl these things over. Trying to find the center of it. Put your hook down in there. Roll the rubber band on the little keeper there. And there we go. Tired old looking lure to a nice new, just like out of the package. That's what's great about it. So if you calculate it out, I took an average of 359 for 20 skirts. So if you calculate that out, that comes to, and it takes 2 of these strips to make a lure. You know, and like I said, you can use 2.5 or 3, whatever. So if you calculate it out though, that comes to about 34 cents a lure. So think about it. I just saved, back when I bought this one, like I say, it's probably $5, $6, whatever the lure, but I just saved myself. And it's like, you know, that lure's in good shape. I don't need to paint the head on or anything, but I just saved myself $6 or something. So by spending, you know, I went out and spent, you know, probably $25 or $30 for all these skirts, you know, maybe a little bit more, I don't know if I add them up. Maybe let's say I spent $50, you know, but heck, that's what, 5 or 6 lures, and then you spent $50. So I spent $50, let's say, for a bunch of silicone skirts, and I just saved myself a ton of money. So that's super, and that's super cool. Let me show you a couple of the other ones I want to show you. So if I can find one. So if you look at these skirts, this lure here I told you I bought new, and you look at the trailer there, you can do the same thing there. You know, you see you got a short one there, and then you got a little bit hanging down there. It's kind of a chaser. Of course, they got this one because I got an extra trailer hook on this. But and if you don't put a trailer hook on there, I like to sometimes put a little red ones down in there. You know, maybe 4 or 5 strands, cut a red in half, or you know whatever, and hang a red one down there a little longer. So when you pull it through, you just pull that red one back a little bit more. And maybe I'll show you how to do one of those. And so it looks like a little blood trail coming out of it. So it's pretty cool. You got your colors and then a little bit of red coming off the end, running a little longer than that, which really makes it neat. And also you can take a little jig like this, and you can also put a little one on this jig, and that way you put you know, any type of a grub on there, you know, like a Mr. Twister or anything. You got a little bit of the silicone skirts on there. So I'm going to do one of those too also. All right, so we're going to try to do one of these little jigs I said. This is the one that was the crappie kicker or whatever it was called. The little silicone strands were coming off of it, so I'm going to see if I can spruce this up a little bit. Since this is chartreuse, I'm going to put a chartreuse one on there. So I'll get me a chartreuse rubber band, slide it over the bullet I call it the pointed bullet, like so. Move my glass of water out of the way. And I'm going to use, they had white and chartreuse. I'm going to stick to white and chartreuse. So I don't think I'm going to vary from that one. One thing I might do is I might use a little sparkly chartreuse. Now this won't need very much. So this is where one of those I'm going to take and I'm going to just cut off a little snippet. You're like, what's a little snippet? Right there, that's only, what, 5 strands, maybe 6 strands. Do the same thing on the other end. There's my little snippet. So that's all longer I'm making. I'm going to add a little bit of white to that one. Put this one back. I could use this for a different lure. This is probably going to cost me, 10 cents to make, if that. Grab me a little white. And I'm just going to use a really pure white. No sparkles in it or anything. Again, take a little snippet of it. Put the white back. Use him for another day. Take my 2 little strands I got here. Put them on my little hook. Like so. Pull them up. Halfway. Snap them rubber band in place. And there you got it. So now I'll go ahead and put it on. Now this one here I'm going to trim up a little bit because this is not a big lure here. So I'm going to put this on here, trim it up a little bit and see what we got here. If you look at the way they got theirs, they got them coming out a little bit everywhere. So we're going to try to do the same thing there. Let's go ahead and cut them first. Find my center the best I can, kind of mix them around a little bit. Slip it on the keeper. Now this has a double keeper on there, so I'm going to roll it on both. The first keeper's for grubs and stuff, and the second keeper's for where the rubber band rolls onto. So you'll see that in some. I don't know if you can see that other keeper down there. It's like a double hook there, whatever. But that's for the grub, where it keeps the grub on. So there you go. Now, if you think that's too many, you can trim that up. You can trim some of those off of there. I don't really think it's that bad. So let me put a grub on there and show you what I got here. So I'm going to grab one here. I got one handy here. This is the black. Well, let's put the little paddle tail back on it. So I had a little white and chartreuse paddle tail. And that's been a great bait. This one's getting kind of worn out. I hope I can, I don't know if I can buy these anywhere for this or not. So there you go. There's my new one. There's the old one. And I'm anxious to try that one now. And like I say, if I feel like there's too many strands on there, you can go back and snip a couple of these off, and maybe a little bit less, make it a little less sparse. In fact, I might do that just to cut them out of that paddle tail well, get them out of the way of the paddle tail. So let me trim a couple of these up. So we're gonna trim that up a little bit more. So I trim that up so you can see that paddle tail back there moving around, so it doesn't cover too much of it up. But I think that's plenty on there. Still looks a lot better than it was, considering, you know, here's one here. That's what's left of it. I got a strand hanging out of there, and you can see the rubber bands are broken on it. I don't know if you can tell or not, but perfect example. There's a black, it had a black and chartreuse, but no rubber skirts on there. And some of those get torn up. Now in this case here, who knows, the rubber band just, you know, breaking away there. But so some of these synthetic rubber skirts here might get pulled off when you put a new grub on or something. But, you know, for the most part, it's easy to fix it up, you know, like I say. You know, that was a, you know, crappie kickers don't cost a whole lot, but, you know, this crappie kicker here was getting tired and you know, it wasn't catching as many. And when I had these first on here like this, you know, I got a lot more hits, you know, so I'm back to making it look like it's brand new again. So now we're going to take one of these. They don't even come with these. I'm going to make it look like a crappie kicker. So we're going to take this and we're going to fix this up. So this is black. We're going to spice this up a little bit. I think I'm going to go a little bit more white. Except for I think I'll do a salt and pepper white. Maybe a salt and pepper sparkly white. Once again, I'm going to take just a snippet of it. We don't want very many. And this doesn't run, you know, the strands that are left at all. You know, that can be perfectly used on another lure. Sometimes, like I say, you might want to put 2.5 on a lure, on a spinner. And what else do we want to add to this one? So that's black. We're going to add a little, so we're going to add a little bit of black and blue specks, since this is black. Again, just a few. Well, this is not a very big bait, and these are great. These are great baits to use in the fall. You know, especially when they start going that hibernation mode. You know, they start looking for smaller baits and stuff. You know, they're not looking for those big forage fish and stuff. So, you know, sometimes you got to downsize in the fall. All right, so we got our strands here. We're definitely going to put a black. We're going to put a black rubber band on this one. So I got a black one here. I'm going to take my little bullet, roll. Now you can roll multiple rubber bands in here at once if you're going to do, you know, like all black or something. You know, you might as well roll 4 or 5 on there. But since I'm changing colors, I just roll one at a time. It's not a big deal. It's so easy to roll them on there. I don't think I've, you know, there's probably been a few times I've rolled several rubber bands on at the same time, but got my white on there. I got to find a catch for the blue. Come on. That's the thing. You get these smaller strands. You only got a few strands to go in between. That's got a big, it's got a big tab on it too. That's what made it a little difficult too. So. All right, so we're going to pull it halfway through, snap that rubber band on there. All right, so there you go. Going to take my little jig head. Let me cut these off, make it a little easier. And you don't have to be neat about these because you're going to cut them down anyway, so I don't worry about wasting too much on here. Sometimes I get a longer side and a shorter side, depends if I go halfway or not. And you can decide which one you want trailing. I like to have a longer skirt trailing. I think it looks good that way. Push it over the keeper. And this keeper here is only got one keeper on it. And they can be tough to get over, some of these keepers. I don't want to hook myself. That would hurt. The problem is you have nothing to grab here on that jig head. So, you know, like unlike a spinner bait, you know, you got a lot of material there to hang on to. So when you're pushing that skirt on there. So, but I finally got it. Little persuasion. So let me fix this guy up here and I'll show you what we got here. All right, so there you go. So I just kind of dressed that little jig up. Here, that was just a jig. You can buy those jigs in a pack for, you know, a couple bucks, you know, for, I think it's like 8 or 9 or 10 or something like that. They're not very expensive at all, you know, but I got white ones and yellow, chartreuse, and black, some different color, different eyes on them, but, you know, the black I seem to like a lot. But just change that and it's almost like a crappie kicker there. So same idea, except for I just took a regular jig, put a skirt on there, got my Mr. Twister on there. There you go. We're going to find out how that bites. I got a feeling that's going to be a good one, especially when we're going down for the smaller fish and also bringing down the size of the bait. So that's what I got. And like I say, I'm not going to show you doing all these. I'm going to sit here and look at some of these, see which ones I can double up. You know, I got, you know, like I say, I look at something like this here. And this is chartreuse. This is the old Colorado hammer blade. I love these things. These are old. This lure here, great shape. Look at the paint on that thing. It's up. I bet I bought that lure back in, I'm going to say 1987, 89, something like that. And look at the paint on that jig head and stuff, you know, and it's really held up well. And maybe I didn't catch a whole lot of fish. I don't know on it. But I know I have on several of these. But love these old hammer Colorado blades. $7 or $8 lure, I just fixed it up for 34 cents. And if that color doesn't do me any good, you know, if I fix it up, I'll change the color out, another 34 cents. How do you like that? I love saving money. All right, this is that one I call the ugly duckling. You know, I think I was playing around and I cut it all up top there without having anything hanging over, and I made that little blood trail, but I'm not really a big fan of that, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that. That's the before of the ugly duckling. And you can just pull them off, just like so. There it is. So if I built that last year and it cost me 34 cents, you know, love the smaller top water. So that's a nice small top water, especially in the fall. So I want to try to make something cool out of this one here. So we got a little bit of yellow and red on that head, so I'm going to try to stick to that color. All right, so there's the after. I did a little bit of get that tab off of there. So there's the after. So I did a little bit of yellow with it's got a little bit of gold flake in it, a little bit of white, just a little bit of sparkly white, and then just a little bit of red. And I think it's got a little bit of black or blue dots in it, a little bit of glitter on it. So that's again, there's a top water bait that you probably would have thrown away. And, you know, that one probably didn't cost very much, maybe $3 or $4, you know, whatever. You know, still a lot of money when you think about all these lures out here. But, you know, I just brought that back to life again. So, you know, if it doesn't work, if I don't catch anything on it, and the color just doesn't seem to be working out, I'll replace it and try a different color. So there you have it. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I got a couple here I did the other day. I know I keep rambling on here. Here's a couple I did the other day I thought were pretty cool. So here's one. I really love this one here. This got a little bit of purple, a little bit of blue and black in it. And look at that lure there. And look at the head on that thing. I mean, it just matches that head really good. So awesome looking bait there. I can't wait to try that. I just, you know, my fish aren't getting big enough yet to hit on spinners. I mean, I got some good sized largemouth in there, and you'll see on you probably saw on my fishing video, you'll see some of the sizes I've caught in there, you know, for only being, you know, 11 months old. Now they'll in October, end of October, they'll be a year old. But so I've got some good sized bass in there, but you know, they're not all hitting on a lure like that yet. So, but I'll tell you what, you look at that blade on there, you know, this blade's got that blue. There's a willow leaf, and it's got the, you know, little diamond plate on there, you want to call it, whatever. And then, you know, I made a skirt to kind of match everything. So, got a little bit, it's really just really glows, man. That thing's just really pretty, good dark color. So that was a cool one I did. And then I did a, no, I didn't do that one. So I did this one here. This is another tired one. So simple. This is just a very simple one, but red and white. Red and white's a great color sometimes. You look at the head on there, red and white. So I just went with a red and white head, put a white rubber band on there. But another good looking lure. This thing's rubber band broke. So, well, you know, how many times have you had a lure where the rubber band breaks on it? You know, if you do spinnerbait fishing or a jig or anything. I've done some jigs this way too. How many times you had when the rubber band breaks, you toss it in a tackle box or back in the bottom of the boat somewhere, or get home and toss it in the back of the garage, and you think, oh well, you know, there's my favorite lure. You know, this is a cheap way to go, guys. You know, like I say, I love to save money. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I just wanted to show you this. Good way to spend your time, especially in the winter months. If you're not fishing a lot, take out all your tackle, you know, spread out. I got, like I said, I got boxes of spinnerbaits back here. I think I showed you a minute ago, but you know, I got boxes of spinnerbaits back here. I'll go through, look for the tired ones. You know, there's a kind of goofy looking one. I'll probably fix that one. But look for the ones I don't like, or the ones that kind of didn't do anything for me, and replace them. But you know, again, it's a great hobby too. Just to say, just it's fun to do. Just sit there and let me know what your favorite colors are. If you fish with a spinnerbait or a jig for that matter, or anything like that, you know, anything that has a synthetic skirt on there, let me know your colors, you know, your favorite color combination. Again, everybody fishing with chartreuse, you know, you can't go wrong. Chartreuse and white, chartreuse and black, you can't go wrong with it. In fact, I need to create a few chartreuse and black on the spinners. You know, I need to go through here and look at what I got here. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like I say, this is just something different. Instead of you know, I've done some house stuff, you know, and I haven't really done a whole lot of house videos lately. We're going to start doing some. The contractor's about ready to wrap up the work they're doing. We got drywallers in this week, and we got the stone guys on coming in this week. So that's the last contractors we got coming in the house, besides finishing up, blowing in the insulation, and then we're on our own. So everything else we're doing in that house will be completely done by us. So we will, except for building the kitchen cabinets. But we will be shooting a lot of videos when that happens. But thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you on next video. Bye. There we go. Whoa. Got a nice one here, guys. Best fish of the video.